Our next lab tour is Computational Medicine Laboratory with Rose Faghih is the PI, but one of her students, Hamid, are you going to go ahead and do the presentation?
Hey, good morning, everyone. My name is Hamid, and with my colleagues, Rafiul Amin, who is present here, we are actually doing our research at the Computational Medicine Lab, and our supervisor is Dr. Rose Faghih. So on behalf of our lab, I will move forward by actually playing our demonstration, and right after that, we will be happy to actually answer any question. Thank you. Sorry, let me just first actually share my screen. Can you see that now?
Yes.
Stress is designated as the health epidemic of the 21st century. Stress management is crucial in enhancing quality of life and performance. It would be very impactful to have an architecture for monitoring and regulating the brain stress state for better quality of life.
At Computational Medicine Lab, we are interested in using peripheral recordings in order to infer brain activity and then close the loop with non-invasive actuation for mental well-being.
We design working memory experiments called NBAC tasks that induce cognitive stress. During the experiment, we monitor the brain responses. One back task consists whether the current stimulus matches the previous one. Similarly, three-back task consists of indicating when the current stimulus matches the one from 3 steps earlier in the sequence.
The demo shows a participant performing the NBAC tasks while listening to two different types of music. As observed, during the experiment, we collect various physiological signals along with brain recordings. Our investigation shows arousal estimation from peripheral signals resembles direct brain recordings. Comparison between performance and arousal reveals performance is highest when the arousal is within a moderate range. The results show that the average performance is lower during 3-back tasks than 1-back task while the participant was listening to a calming music. We could enhance the performance during the 3-back by changing the music to a vexing one.
Research-grade devices for health monitoring are only applicable in laboratory settings. Therefore, wearable devices are practical alternatives for use in daily life. We designed new sets of experiments with wearable devices for remote monitoring and regulation. We use non-invasive actuation, such as music and coffee, to close the loop and regulate the arousal level.
Here, a participant is performing n-bank tasks. The participant will be notified to take a cup of coffee when a low arousal is detected. The result of drinking coffee is served in increasing the arousal levels.
Yes. If there is any question, we'd happy to take that.
Thank you very much. Does anybody have any questions for Hamid or his team? Oh, Akshay, you have a question?
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, very interesting projects. I have a question on the music feedback, right? You said, I mean, initially you showed that there also has an inverted U shape for the performance. So for someone who has a baseline arousal level of high value, does the vexing music still help with the performance gain, or is it subjective?
Actually, what we have done so far is just a pilot study with some limited number of subjects, but we plan to actually analyze how the persons with different baselines will react to this type of the music.
Yeah,
Thank you.
so maybe I can add to this question.
Correct.
So you are exactly right. Like if someone is already stressed, then if we, like, for example, have vexing music, then usually, I mean, they tend to be more, stressed, and the performance is bad. Now, what we did is basically, some few subjects we don't see actually the U law, right? Because we see basically the upper part of the U law. But for most of the participants, because we have this baseline period in the beginning to basically relax them and then do it, and basically for that reason we see some sort of inverted U law relationship there.
Yeah, thank you.
Any more questions for that presentation?
Oh, hi. I've got a small one.
Okay.
I noticed that you guys had like a cap with FNIRS that seems to get full head coverage, but from what I understand with FNIRS, you need to kind of transmit light and get the reflected values back. Yeah, so how does that work, and how easy is it to work with that cap?
Okay, so basically, yeah, in that head we have like different optodes positioned in different locations. So each of these optode has some LEDs that those transmit lights with two different wavelengths and then reflects back, and there is a detector that detect those. In terms of difficulty to working with that, I think it's much more easier to work with FNIRS than EEG, because we don't have to do gelling or anything. So it's like you can put those, and just we need to make sure that there is no hair in between the optodes and the scalp. So it was not that hard. Usually setting up that headset took like about 10 minutes for us, for on average, for each participants. Yeah.
All right, good to know. Thank you.
Sure.
All right. Thanks, everyone.